This place appears to have no remaining life, yet it contains some of the most intense survival struggles. This region is shaped by extreme heat and limited water. Dry dust covers the ground, and most species reduce activity to conserve energy. Beneath the cracked soil, animals continue essential survival behaviors at controlled levels. Even when the air is completely still, predators hidden in the vegetation continue searching for opportunities. In these conditions, the safe distance between predator and prey can decrease within seconds. In central India, where dry conditions persist for long periods, one of Asia's emblematic animals still remains. In the wild, the Asiatic lion now survives only in one region of India. Recent surveys documented approximately 891 individuals in Gujarat in 2025. This population represents the last remaining members of a species that once ranged from the Middle East to the Indian subcontinent. Their habitat includes Gir National Park and surrounding forest areas. A dry, tropical landscape mixed with grasslands and low hills covering more than 540 square miles. In the early 20th century, hunting and habitat loss reduced their population to about 20 individuals. India established Gir National Park in 1965 to protect the remaining animals. Strict conservation measures allowed the population to recover and continue increasing. Asiatic lions are smaller than African lions, but retain all characteristics of a large cat. Adult males weigh about 350 to 420 pounds, and adult females weigh about 240 to 265 pounds. Their manes are thinner, exposing the strong muscles of the neck, sharp canines, a bite force exceeding 650 pounds per square inches, and claws about 2.4 inches long create an effective set of hunting tools. Unlike solitary big cats such as leopards or Bengal tigers, Asiatic lions maintain a social structure based on prides. Each pride contains 5 to 12 individuals with 2 to 3 adult males, adult females, and cubs. This structure supports their cooperative hunting strategy. In the Gir forest, lionesses approach prey through low vegetation. Other individuals block escape routes to reduce the prey's chances of fleeing. When the moment is appropriate, a male lion performs a direct charge to bring the prey down. They often hunt medium-sized herbivores such as nilgai, sambar, deer, or wild buffalo weighing more than 1,100 pounds. Unlike African lions in open grasslands, Asiatic lions in dry Gir forests rely more on cover, close-range coordination and sudden approaches rather than the advantage of large group numbers. In the marshes and floodplain grasslands of northern India lives a distinctive mammal. The Indian rhinoceros, also known as the one-horned rhinoceros. Its body exceeds 13 feet in length, reaches nearly 6 feet in height, and weighs between 4,000 and 5,500 pounds. Its thick skin forms large folds that resemble protective armor plates. A single horn about 10 inches long sits on its nose and is used in defense and territorial disputes. Despite its heavy appearance, the Indian rhinoceros is a typical herbivore. When threatened, it can reach speeds of about 25 miles per hour, and with its large mass, a single charge can cause severe injury to an intruder. The Indian rhinoceros has a strong influence on its habitat. It creates pathways through dense vegetation, opening space for other species and supporting biodiversity. Mud bathing protects its skin from heat and insects and helps regulate body temperature. In the early 20th century, the population declined to only a few hundred individuals. Conservation programs spanning several decades increased their numbers, and by 2025, the combined population in India and Nepal exceeded 4,000 individuals, with more than 3,300 living in India. In the dry forests, where light and shadow alternate, the leopard moves with almost no sound. This species is the most agile large cat in India and has a medium body size. Adult males weigh about 130 to 200 pounds, and adult females weigh about 75 to 130 pounds. Its compact body, strong muscles, and flexible limbs allow it to move effectively through open forest terrain. Its yellow coat, covered with black rosettes, functions as an efficient biological camouflage system. In dense vegetation and shifting light, the outline of its body becomes difficult for prey to detect. Its strong skeletal structure and powerful muscles allow it to leap more than 20 feet horizontally and more than 10 feet vertically. Its climbing ability ranks among the best of all large cats. This ability allows it to pull prey weighing up to 150 pounds onto high branches, which reduces the risk of losing the kill to tigers or wild dogs. Its jaws are optimized for hunting. A bite force of about 300 pounds per square inches combined with long curved canines and strong neck muscles, allows it to deliver a precise bite to the throat or the back of the neck of its prey. This bite targets vulnerable points and causes rapid death. Its hunting strategy relies on silence, camouflage, and a short burst of speed. The leopard can approach prey at a distance of about 65 to 100 feet without making noise. During the attack, it reaches speeds of about 36 miles per hour and uses the full weight of its body to bring the prey down, leaving little chance for escape. Within the ecosystem, the leopard regulates populations of medium-sized herbivores, such as sambar, deer, small deer, and young nilgai. This regulation prevents overgrazing and maintains balance in the dry forest environment. In the dry forests of India, the Bengal tiger is the largest living big cat in the world. Adult males typically weigh 440 to 570 pounds and measure more than 10 feet in length. Adult females weigh about 310 to 400 pounds. Its body is adapted for strength, speed, and maneuverability. Its orange coat with black stripes functions as a natural camouflage system. In shifting forest light, the stripes break up the body outline and increase its ability to remain hidden. Bengal tiger uses a combination of biting force and body impact to subdue prey. Its bite force can reach about 1,050 pounds per square inches. Which is strong enough to break a spine or fracture a skull. Its powerful hind limbs allow it to leap up to about 26 feet horizontally and nearly 13 feet vertically. Its hunting strategy has 3 stages. Camouflage, approach, and final attack. Because of its large body size, the tiger cannot sustain long chases. It closes distance using slow and silent movement. When it reaches a range of about 65 to 100 feet, it accelerates to nearly 37 miles per hour, makes a full-body leap, and uses claws about 4 inches long to secure the prey before delivering the killing bite. The tiger maintains a territory ranging from about 23 to 39 square miles and marks it with scent and claw marks. It regulates populations of sambar deer, cheetal deer, nilgai, and wild pigs, which prevents excessive pressure on vegetation. Leftover meat from tiger kills supports jackals, vultures, and numerous insect species, and contributes to the forest's decomposition and nutrient recycling processes. Temperatures rise gradually across the plains of South Luangwa. Fine dust suspended in the air signals the arrival of the valley's largest animals. From a distance, the ground vibrates lightly as herds of African elephants move through dry, mopane woodlands. They travel with slow but steady rhythm, and each step carries the weight of bodies that reach 6 to 7 tons and more than 13 feet in height. This weight is sufficient to open pathways through dense vegetation, but the behavior does not destroy the forest. When large trees fall, sunlight reaches the ground and creates openings for young plants to grow. In the harsh climate of Luangwa, elephants use their large ears as natural cooling structures. Their most important organ is the trunk, which contains more than 40,000 muscle bundles and functions in sensing, feeding, carrying water, and communicating. Young elephants learn survival skills through physical contact from their mothers and older females. A mature female often the oldest individual leads the herd. Her memory preserves the locations of shallow water channels, old wells, and safe migration routes. This knowledge allows the herd to navigate accurately even during severe drought when the valley is reduced to dust and rock. Over generations, elephant movements form visible pathways that transport seeds to distant areas and reshape the landscape. Research shows that Luangwa elephants use multiple types of vocal signals, including infrasonic sounds that can travel up to 6 miles to communicate between groups separated across large habitats. Their social structure is highly organized. Young calves move close to their mothers, while adult females remain alert for lions or crocodiles near water sources. Although elephants play an essential ecological role, African elephant populations continue to decline in many regions of the continent. In Luangwa, patrol programs and GPS tracking contribute to stabilizing the local population. As sunset covers the valley and daily sounds begin to fade, the elephants gather tightly to form a natural protective circle. They continue their slow and steady movement, guided by the experience of the matriarch and instincts developed over many generations. When the dry season intensifies in the Luangwa Valley, the river recedes and leaves shallow pools scattered along its course. In the remaining mud pools, large rounded bodies stay almost motionless beneath the surface. These bodies belong to groups of hippos, which hold a central role in the entire shallow water system. During the day, most of their bodies stay submerged, with only the eyes, ears, and nostrils above the water. This position protects their sensitive skin from solar radiation. The reddish secretion that appears on their skin, often mistaken for blood, is a biological fluid with antibacterial and UV blocking properties that functions as a natural sunscreen rarely seen in mammals. An adult male stands nearly 6 feet tall, measures about 13 feet in length, and weighs up to 4,000 pounds. Despite this mass, hippos do not swim but instead walk and push off the riverbed. Propelling themselves forward with strong but smooth movements. On land, their strength becomes more evident. Their mouths can open more than 150 degrees and reveal canines that reach 20 inches in length, which are used for territorial combat rather than feeding on grass. At night, hippos leave the water and travel up to 5 miles to graze on short grass. An adult individual can consume roughly 90 pounds of vegetation in a single night. Their movement between grazing grounds and the river makes them nutrient transporters that return organic material to the water through their dung. Each hippo group includes a dominant male, several females, and their young. Territory in the water is defended aggressively. And vocalizations that carry more than half a mile serve as clear warnings to intruders. Mating and birthing occur underwater. After a gestation period of about 8 months, calves weighing 55 to 100 pounds are born and are able to nurse both underwater and on land. During the first year, calves remain close to their mothers to avoid crocodiles or aggressive males. Although hippos are herbivores, they display unpredictable behavior and are responsible for many dangerous encounters with humans in Africa. In Luangwa, however, hippo populations remain stable due to natural lagoons such as Luamfwa and Nsefu. Even when water levels drop severely and the mud cracks, hippo groups stay in these areas and continue to function as ancient components linked closely to the rhythm of the river. The calm surface of the water can create a misleading image. Among distorted reflections of the sky and shoreline vegetation, a dark shape remains motionless, with only the eyes and nostrils exposed. This shape belongs to the Nile crocodile, the master ambush predator of the Luangwa waters. An adult individual can reach 20 feet in length and weigh more than 1,500 pounds, making it the largest reptile in Africa. Its flattened body and elevated eyes and nostrils allow it to stay almost completely submerged while maintaining a full view of the riverbank. Along sandbanks such as Lufupa or Kapamba, crocodiles maintain dominance over shallow water zones. They also display parental care by digging nests on the riverbank, guarding eggs from predators, and sometimes helping hatchlings reach the water. However, hatchling survival rates are low because they are hunted by birds of prey, large fish, and adult crocodiles. Individuals that survive can live more than 60 years, demonstrating the long-term stability of a biological design that has existed for millions of years. The Nile crocodile population in South Luangwa remains stable due to intact river systems and natural lagoons. For this predator, time is not a limiting factor. It hunts with evolutionary patience, waiting for the moment when an antelope lowers its head to drink and the encounter ends before the prey can respond. When early sunlight reaches the dry treetops along the Luangwa River, the sound that breaks the silence is not a lion roar, but the sharp alarm call of the chacma baboon. This species forms one of the most complex primate societies on the African savanna. From high branches to steep rocky ledges, the troop moves in a defined formation. A troop may include 20 to 80 individuals, and each member holds a specific rank. Adult males stand up to 4 feet tall when fully upright and weigh close to 90 pounds, taking on roles of leadership and protection. Females are smaller and more agile and handle infant care and the maintenance of social order. Their grey-brown fur blends with red soil and exposed rock, creating effective natural camouflage. During the dry season, they occupy elevated positions with wide visibility. During the wet season, the troop moves closer to the river to access fruit, shoots, and dense vegetation. As omnivores, chacma baboons hold a significant survival advantage. They consume roots, seeds, fruit, insects, bird, eggs, and small vertebrates. This dietary flexibility allows them to endure periods of scarcity with less pressure than many specialized species. Communication is their strongest asset, They use more than 30 vocalizations combined with facial expressions and body posture to convey information about danger, resources, or social status. When the troop is threatened, adult males may coordinate, bare their teeth, throw stones, or charge toward predators. The effectiveness comes not from individual strength, but from the collective response. At dusk, noise decreases. The troop climbs to high branches and forms tight clusters. Infants remain in the center of the adults. Passes in the canopy, and with the next sunrise, their complex social cycle begins again. On the dry and uneven slopes of the Machinga Range, where vegetation is sparse and the ground is cracked, vervet monkeys move quickly across thin branches. Their silver-grey fur and dark faces blend with scattered light and make them difficult to detect. Among the canopy layers, a vervet troop typically includes 20 to more than 50 individuals and maintains order through a defined hierarchy. Communication forms the foundation of this social structure. Studies have documented more than 60 gestures and about 36 vocalizations. Which create a distinct vocabulary that identifies aerial threats, ground predators, and conflicts within the troop. During the day, vervet monkeys descend to the ground to forage. They consume leaves, fruit, flowers, seeds, eggs, insects, and sometimes small animals. This varied diet allows them to adapt to harsh seasonal changes in the Luangwa Valley. However, the ground carries constant risk. While part of the troop feeds, the remaining individuals stay in elevated positions to keep watch. A single abnormal sound, such as the wing beat of an eagle or an unusual movement in the grass, causes the entire troop to climb back to the trees and move out of reach of predators. At dusk, vervet monkeys select branches about 23 feet above the ground to sleep and position the young in the safest central area. In an ecosystem where many species rely on strength and size to survive, vervet monkeys persist through rapid reaction speed, predictive awareness, and highly accurate vigilance strategies. In the distance, red dust rises in a long line as heavy footfalls echo across the air. On the Luangwa plains, one of the most imposing gatherings of herbivores moves into view, the Cape buffalo herd. From afar, they appear as a single shifting mass. At closer range, their structured social system becomes clear. Large males, weighing close to 2,000 pounds and standing more than 5.5 feet at the shoulder, hold positions along the outer edges. Family groups of females travel in coordinated clusters and guide movement through subtle directional changes. In large herds, many decisions are made through consensus. When most females turn their heads in a chosen direction, the entire herd begins to move accordingly. Cape buffalo are efficient grazers. During the wet season, abundant grass allows them to remain deep in open plain. During the dry season, they move toward the Luangwa River, where remaining vegetation supports the herd. When a calf becomes separated, a lion pride may appear to gain a clear advantage. However, the buffalo response often alters the outcome. When the herd detects danger, hundreds of curved horns turn toward the predator. Instead of scattering, the herd compresses and advances as a unified mass. Multiple observations show entire herds charging back and forcing even experienced lions to retreat. Their strength comes not only from size, but also from organization. Older males sometimes form bachelor groups, yet they may return to support the main herd when needed. Their unpredictable behavior and direct defensive strategy have led local communities to nickname them the Black Death. In the Luangwa Valley, where competition for survival occurs continually, Cape buffalo provide clear evidence that collective strength can confront any apex predator. As the afternoon heat decreases and the Luangwa sky shifts to a golden tone, an unusual quiet spreads across the grassland. Movement slows, sound fades, and attention turns toward a dark gold shape moving through the short grass. A lion appears, and its presence alone alters the behavior of animals nearby. In Luangwa, lions live in cohesive family groups. Experienced females lead hunting and care for the offspring. Adult males defend territory and maintain the genetic line. lionesses perform most of the hunting. In darkness, they rely on vision that is about 6 times more sensitive than human vision, and hearing that detects movement hundreds of yards away. The attack follows a coordinated strategy. One lion approaches from the front, while others circle wide along both flanks. When the prey detects danger, the distance is already too short for escape. During the final sprint, a lion can reach about 50 miles per hour and leap more than 36 feet. Despite this ability, success rates remain only 25 to 30%, showing the level of competition within the valley. African lion numbers have declined by more than 40% over the past 3 decades, leaving an estimated 20,000 to 25,000 individuals in the wild. In South Luangwa, conditions are more stable. Large prides with more than 30 members have continued producing new generations. Due to anti-poaching efforts and effective territorial management. In regions such as Mwamba and Sefu, newly formed groups maintain the same social structure and hunting strategies typical of the species. The ecological role of lions extends beyond apex predation. Their presence regulates populations of large herbivores, preventing overgrazing and maintaining a balanced open woodland structure. When the sun sets completely and the valley shifts to darker tones, lions leave their resting sites. They move through tall grass in near total silence, almost invisible, yet their influence on Luangwa remains continuous and measurable. In the heart of this valley, the night belongs to them. The Philippine Sea extends across more than 7,600 islands, where water temperatures remain stable between 77 and 86 degrees Fahrenheit. These conditions allow coral reefs to grow extensively and support one of the most biodiverse marine regions on Earth. Among these areas, the Verde Island Passage stands out as the center of the global coral triangle. More than 300 coral species and about 800 fish species have been recorded here, representing some of the highest densities in the world. Rock, sand, seagrass beds, and coral structures form a three-dimensional habitat where thousands of species find food and shelter. Within this environment, giant clams remain stationary but filter large volumes of water and help keep the surroundings clean. Symbiotic algae inside their tissues use sunlight to generate energy that supports the organism. The Philippine Sea functions as an open system where ocean currents transport coral larvae, fish eggs, and nutrients that maintain regional stability. When plankton levels increase along coasts such as Donsol and Sorsogon, whale sharks appear. They can grow up to 40 feet long, weigh around 40,000 pounds, and use their large filtration system to draw in thousands of litres of water per hour. Their swimming speed is slow at about 3 miles per hour. Yet their migration routes can cover thousands of miles. Their role is to regulate plankton density and prevent oxygen-depleted conditions that could cause mass fish mortality. However, vessel strikes and illegal harvesting have placed the species in a threatened category. In shallow and calmer bays such as Palawan, dugongs move through seagrass beds. They are marine herbivores that leave large feeding trails across the seagrass surface. These trails promote regrowth and prevent the substrate from becoming overly shaded. Dugongs are experiencing population decline due to habitat loss, pollution, and vessel collisions. Both whale sharks and dugongs serve as important indicators of marine ecosystem health, where even small changes in water quality directly affect them. On the sandy and muddy substrate and among the rock crevices of Verde, the blue ringed octopus remains hidden. Under normal conditions, its skin blends with the surroundings. When threatened, bright blue rings appear and act as a direct warning of its potent neurotoxin, which is one of the strongest toxins among small marine animals. Its bite can cause rapid paralysis. And there is currently no known antivenom. In wider sandy areas, the mimic octopus uses a specialized camouflage strategy. It can imitate the form of a sea snake, stingray, or a venomous jellyfish by changing its color, swimming pattern, and arm posture. This flexibility allows it to avoid predators and approach prey without being detected. Near these habitats, cuttlefish maintain a high position in the food web because of their developed brains. And rapid color-changing ability. The internal cuttlebone structure allows them to adjust buoyancy. They can create moving color waves along the body to distract prey or warn competitors. Their accurate tentacle strikes make them effective mid-level predators within the reef. These species demonstrate that cognitive ability and adaptability can exceed body size in determining survival. Among coral branches, clownfish and sea anemones form one of the ocean's longest-standing symbiotic relationships. A specialized mucus layer on clownfish skin protects them from anemone stings. In return, clownfish bring leftover food and clean the anemone's surface. When threatened, the fish rely on the anemone's stinging tentacles as defense. On the sandy bottom, hermit crabs use large shells to protect their soft bodies. They often attach sea anemones to their shells. The anemones increase defensive capability, while the crab transports them to areas with richer food availability. When the crab changes shells, it carefully transfers the anemones to maintain the symbiotic partnership. These alliances show how marine species depend on one another to adapt in a changing environment. The Philippines is experiencing high levels of climate change and pollution. Average temperatures have risen by 1.3 degrees Fahrenheit over the past century, increasing the risk of coral bleaching. Some regions have recorded more than a 40% decline in coral reef cover. Each year, the country produces more than 2.7 million tons of plastic. And part of this waste enters the ocean. On land, primary forest area has decreased from more than 27 million acres to below 6.9 million acres. With 47,000 acres lost annually, These changes directly threaten species such as the bleeding heart dove, the dugong, and the whale shark. However, restoration efforts have produced positive results. The National Greening Programme has restored more than 4.6 million acres of forest. The Coral Triangle Initiative has restored about 2.5 square miles of reef habitat. Local communities conduct patrols to reduce illegal fishing and limit plastic use. The Philippines remains a center of biodiversity and represents an example of recovery when conservation actions occur in time. Its mangrove forests, coral reefs, and marine wildlife still have a chance to persist if current efforts continue.